Venezuela in a state of total chaos tonight. Opposition party leaders now fearing for their lives. Socialist dictator Nicolas Maduro claiming this evening that he has the military on his side, something that John Bolton just disputed. And he is threatening American diplomats. And he is threatening the freedom fighters in Venezuela as he desperately tries to cling to power, with Putin and the likes of Hezbollah out there backing him up. At this very moment, political leaders opposed to socialist dictator Nicolas Maduro are being hunted by military and paramilitary members, their lives in danger, and they're moving from place to place to place to evade detection from Maduro's troops. Juan Guaido, the man the U.S. and the rest of the free world now recognizes as the rightful president of Venezuela, has actually tried to call into this show. But even he himself is being forced to move locations at a rapid pace. Joining me right now is someone who lived in hiding himself for more than 100 days before fleeing that socialist dictatorship, a freedom fighter in exile, Mr. Carlos Vecchio, who has been in constant touch with the opposition leaders on the ground in his home country. Carlos, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
You've got a dictator there who just won't let go. So tell us tonight, how in danger are members of the opposition, people that are daring to speak out quite bravely, like you did, against Nicolas Maduro and against socialism and that dictatorship?
Well, the only tool that the dictatorship has in hand in order to contend the spirit of change of the Venezuelan people is terror, is intimidation, is repression. And if you are a political opponent, you can pay with jail, with arrest, or with death, only to express your ideas. So, yes, we have to confront this dictatorship, and we are at risk, all of the people of Venezuela, just only for express political ideas.
I know that you were in touch with Leopoldo Lopez, who himself is a freedom fighter and considered one of the most, if not the most popular politician there in Venezuela. He was jailed for 5 years. He was tortured in jail for 5 years by Nicolas Maduro and that regime. He's now under house arrest. What is he telling you about the conditions on the ground there, and what are other sources telling you?
Well, there is a tremendous crisis. Basically, we need to stop the suffering of the people. That's the most important thing for us. The scarcity of basic goods and medicine is quite important. And while Maduro tries to keep the power, I mean, that will continue in Venezuela. As you know, he's usurping the power in Venezuela. We are claiming the interim government of Juan Guaido. And one of the missions that we have right now in Venezuela is to end the dictatorship in Venezuela. Second, we need to ensure a democratic transition, establishing a transitional government, and then we need to call for a free and transparent election. That's our agenda. That's what we want to push, and that's what I have been talking with Leopoldo.
Since 1999, your country has lived under the likes of Hugo Chavez or Nicolas Maduro and this idea of socialism. What has socialism done to Venezuela? And if you are able to have those free elections, as I believe, Carlos, you will, how will things change? How will things change for the people, and how will things change for your economy?
Well, as you said, I mean, we are facing the worst economic and political crisis in our entire history. This economic collapse is even worse than the special period in Cuba during the 90s, and it's double of the Great Depression here in the States. So it's a catastrophe, and we are paying this with lives of the Venezuelan people, and that's why people of Venezuela are leaving our country, not because they are going to just leave Venezuela, because they are being forced because of this situation. From the political point of view, we don't have freedom of the speech, we don't have political rights. From the economic point of view, as I said, we will have this year 10 million% of inflation, the highest in the world. And from the social point of view, I just mentioned the scarcity of basic goods and medicine, but also the poverty has increased in 87%. So this is a disaster. This is what we want to change. We need to set a democracy with separation of power, rule of law. We need to call for a free and fair election. From the economic point of view, we need to have an open market, an open economy. We need to increase our oil production. And from the social point of view, we need to help those people who are in the line of poverty to take advantage of the economic progress.
So much can be done, should be done. It is a country that is sitting on so much in terms of national resources, and it is a shame that you see people, in some cases, going without food, starving because there is none. And there's no ability to move forward and have any kind of economic prosperity in that regime. Let me ask you, Carlos, in terms of your own story, you fled Nicolas Maduro. You came to America. You were given asylum here, truly an asylum seeker, but you were threatened because you spoke out. What happened? You went 100 days into hiding? You told me your wife was pregnant at the time. I mean, it had to have been terrifying. And I admire all of you tremendously for your bravery. Tell us briefly your story.
Yes, it was in 2014. Just only for express my political ideas, Maduro decided to put an order of arrest against me. I had to support 3 violent attempts of arrest. They couldn't capture me. I spent more than 100 days in hiding, moving around different places. And as you said, my wife was pregnant, and I was afraid that we could lose the baby. Fortunately, we have the baby. He has now 4 years old, and he's an American. But the most important thing for me is that since I'm being here, I've been fighting in order to restore democracy, because I know that people in Venezuela are suffering more and more, and we need to stop that. And from here, we can do more. And something which is very important to mention as well, that we have a very clear opportunity this moment in time. I would say the most important, but we cannot do this alone. We need the international community to support the interim government of Juan Guaidó.
Well, let me tell you one thing. The United States of America is with you, sir.
Yeah, I know, and I thank the Trump administration for the strong support that we have received from them.
Carlos, many thanks. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Trish. Appreciate it.
Thank you.